Hi, True Crime Grapevine fans. All right, we are in our 25th week. We are rolling towards the end here. This case is, there are two cases, and we are going from a criminal case into a celebrity case, and I call these two cases together speed kills. So we're going to start with the first case. I'm continuing to drink 19 Crimes. It is, it's a red. A 2020 red by 19 Crimes. It's very tasty. I'm not really a red drinker. I would call this oaky. I don't know if that's the term. It's oaky to me. All right, so this case has to do, unfortunately, it was a Twitter drama. I saw it on Twitter before there was a sensitivity warning, and the warnings exist for a reason. Sorry, dyslexic detective. Boy, I'm really on a roll with my inability to speak tonight. It's on Twitter, and I saw this as it was being uploaded. Well, I mean, it wasn't immediate, but it happened like last Saturday afternoon? No, it was last Thursday. Or this Thursday. This woman, you see a car enter a frame very quickly. It's like a blur. You barely don't even see it. And then all of a sudden, there's a fire on the other side of the screen. And then it slowed down, and you can see this car enters where everybody else is stopped, goes into the cross traffic, and then all of a sudden over here, because it happens so fast. So the scuttlebutt on Twitter was, oh my gosh, the person must have been going like 120 miles per hour. And it really did look like it had to be that fast. So apparently the woman was going 90 miles an hour. She was in a Mercedes and she lived, but she T-boned the cross traffic. And if you know anything about accident stuff, so head-on isn't as bad as T-boned. If you get T-boned at a high rate of speed, there's going to be fatalities, and there were. So this woman killed, now it said 5, but I believe she killed 6 people, because she killed a pregnant woman that was in the car, 8 months pregnant. So because it was her choice to carry to term, I mean, I kind of consider that 2 people, but that's at least one woman and an almost born child. Her 1-year-old, who was close to turning 2, the boyfriend's father. So that's 3 people there. There were 2 other people outside the car, unidentified women. And then, I believe, let's see, among the dead were the boyfriend, which was a 23-year-old. I'm sorry, the woman, the pregnant woman was 23, Asherly Ryan, and her 8-month unborn child. Her son, Alonzo, who was 1. Her boyfriend, Ronald Lester, and they were on their way to an appointment about the new baby. 2 unidentified women died at the scene, and also 66-year-old Craig Pitchford. So that's Asherly, Alonzo, Ronald Lester, 2 women, and so they said 5, but then it's really 6. That is 6 people she killed. Now, the horror of this whole thing, I mean, for the driver, you're like, okay, so she can go to jail forever. So apparently she was speeding because she had a fight with her boyfriend. Oh, it did happen. Let's see. She was charged on August 9th with murder charges. I think some of them one was like murder, and the rest were charged. She was charged with 1 count of murder and 5 counts. Oh, that's how it makes it 6. 1 count of murder and 6 counts of vehicular manslaughter. And I'm not sure which is the murder there. If she's convicted, she goes to jail for 90 years. She was in a black Mercedes. It was 1:30 p.m. Thursday in the Windsor Hill neighborhood of Los Angeles, and there was a huge fiery crash. She as you can imagine. I think they spun into a gas station, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just the cars crashing. The authorities say that she was going about 90 miles per hour, and she was going southbound on South LaBrea Avenue. She ran the red light on Slauson and plowed into, the vehicles going through the intersection. And it was closed for that rest of Thursday and Friday. So the Daily Mail, which is kind of a rag, no offense, Daily Mail, but they said, a source said it was that Nicole Linton was fighting with her boyfriend and drunk when it happened. So we don't know. We will find out more about if she was or not. But don't drive angry, people. Don't drive inebriated, and certainly not angry. Come on. She was from Texas. She was an ICU nurse. So she will have penalties. Whether she's already... The fact of being an ICU nurse, she sees people who've been in horrific crashes. So she knows what she did. She will live with that. And a pregnant mother, she's 30, she's 37. The whole thing is insane. So we'll hear more. I'm sure we'll cover what happens. But that's horrible. And for that whole family was lost. They had everything to live for. She was having a new baby. That is all horrific. The two unidentified women. In 66, I'm not too far. I'm only like a decade or so younger than that, or so. But still, I'm 50. I don't. That's horrible. 66 isn't that old. And to be plowed into. It's horrific. And I wish I wouldn't have seen it, because the comments underneath, because people started responding who saw it and were there and involved. I'm not going to tell you what they said. I have images in my brain that I don't want. So, speed kills, people. That woman, whether she's in jail or not, is going to see that, and she's an ICU nurse. She's wrecked. Everybody, she might as well have died. All right, so we're going to go on to our next case. It's kind of a celebrity case, but it is speed kills. We are all the way to our celebrity cases. Now, we had just done a case called speed kills. I think I might put this with that one in a flight, but it also involves a celebrity. So, we're going to drink a glass of Asti Spumante for our late, great celebrity, or at least late, Anne Heche. Some people think I look like Anne Heche. What do you think? Do I look like Anne Heche to you? Maybe? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know why people think I look like her. All right, so maybe I do. But we won't be mistaken for each other, because unfortunately she has passed. So why she is in the speed kills sort of column? Well, it was on the same Thursday, I believe, that we had the other speeding case in Los Angeles. Now this was in a neighboring area. I think it was just outside Los Angeles, but apparently Anne Heche had some substance abuse issues, and I believe it was cocaine mixed with alcohol. I'm not exactly sure the details, but she was being, I don't know if she's trying to be detained at one scene or if it was just her friends, but she was running away from a confrontation in one area. And there is a clip of, and maybe she'd been drinking on a podcast. I have to sorry, this is really like that. This is really the grapevine-y part of Grapevine. But part of this I saw for myself, so I can vouch for the integrity of the second part of my statement, which is, well, so there's a picture of her in a car, and in between, like, between her seat and the passenger seat, there, it looks to be a fifth of something. If you watched our previous episode here, not episode, but this episode, a previous case, where I showed a small Heartbreak strawberry lemonade vodka drink. It was like in a small bottle, like a fifth of something, you know, a small little bottle. I don't know why I'm drawing it out for you. You guys all know what a fifth of something looks like. Or you can hashtag Google that shit. Unfortunately, so she had an altercation at one site, took off down the street at a very high rate of speed, like the other woman that we talked about. But instead of hitting traffic, she was coming up into it was a T intersection, you know, so she was coming down the street, and it was another street, and it did not continue. Although she continued into a hedge, through a hedge, into the picture window of a home, through the home. So I started watching it live on YouTube. It was a local TV station that had a bird in the sky, a helicopter, and they were over at a wreck scene, and you could see that the bushes were out of the way. Something had gone through this, like, half of the house. And then you could see the fire people had cut out 2 holes, and there was just smoke billowing out. And he, by the time I was watching it, they said, so it looked like the fire was out, but they were trying to get the car out. And I watched that for maybe 15 minutes. So it had been going on before that. I watched for 15 minutes. So the car was inside with all this billowing smoke. And if you know anything about smoke damage to your lungs, I mean, a lot of people die from smoke inhalation, right? So eventually, 25 minutes after that, they pulled the car out, but because of all the bushes around and the side that they went into the car, they went in through the passenger door. So they, like, put, you know how you, I don't know how, if you know, but if you live out anywhere near country, you may have seen, or anywhere, I guess, but out where I live, and I grew up out in the country where there were huge ditches, you often saw people, they'd have to hook up a chain to a tow truck to, like, haul somebody out of a ditch. So they did that kind of thing where they must have changed her car and winched it out. And they brought this big boom in. And the guy from the helicopter, you know, he color commentated the whole thing. Then they pull his car out. You don't see what's going on. And they're like, maybe the driver, they didn't know at this point anything about the driver. And they were calling it, the person, they were calling them he. Anyways, I had already known that Anne Heche had gotten into a car accident, so I was aware it was her. So this, even though I was watching it, quote unquote, live, right? It had happened just previously to this. So I was watching it a little bit later. They pulled her out on a stretcher, and so you see the stretcher going towards an ambulance. So like, oh, the person must still be alive. Then you see the person sit up. Now, I knew it was Anne Heche already. You know, the blonde hair, naked, and try to get out of the gurney as it's going into the ambulance, which was insane. But if you, now knowing that she was on some sort of stimulant drugs, she was ramped up. So, unfortunately, she was taken to the hospital. She was intubated. But for sitting, I mean, she probably had horrible injuries, but mostly from breathing in horrific, hot, fiery smoke, her lungs were destroyed. That's what I think it appears to have happened. Anyways, so unfortunately yesterday, on Friday, she passed away. She was in her early 50s, I believe 53. And Popcorn Planet and other YouTubers. I mean, so the thing is, people want to say, oh, she was a drug addict, like, you know, she was addicted, she was sick, blah, blah, blah. She crashed their house, she got what she deserved. Again, you know, the thing is, addiction is horrible, and nobody else died on the scene. And it's horrible that she could not get over her addiction, and people had lovely things to say about her, and apparently her upbringing was awful, and she was abused, and it's not surprising that she turned to substances, and she was a wonderful actress. I don't know, it's horrible. It's horrible, but please don't get behind a wheel when you're upset, and if you've had anything in your system, all right? Speed does kill. Please be careful out there. And to Anne Heche, God rest your soul. I hope you're at peace now. All right, and that is for our first celebrity case. I will be moving on to our next one in just 1 second. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell.